number. Big numbers. Big numbers. Whole team counted. That's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is Jazz. I ain't gotta shut the cell off cause the iPhone don't gotta.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see the 15-year veteran Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers as they take on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. With that, we send you up to U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Standing by our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Nightfall in Minneapolis in December usually spells freezing temps, and that is precisely the case outside these walls. But we are a comfortable 72 degrees inside U.S. Bank Stadium. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with the Green Bay Packers. From up top, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you. And Charles, an NFC North matchup here, the so-called black and blue division.
Atta baby, show that age.
It's going to be a battle in 2019 as well. Who do you like out of this division?
Well, Chicago is a defending champion, and they play defense as well as anyone in the league, so you have to like their chances to repeat. Minnesota thought they were going to run the division, had a rough year. That's not normal Vikings football. They'll get back into the fray. Green Bay had such an underwhelming season last year. They changed coaches, but they still have number 12 throwing the football. And Detroit, they're on a crusade to eliminate bad football and get back to being the Lions that roar.
The veteran kicker Mason Crosby set to do the honors here. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Kirk Cousins, the 31-year-old quarterback in his second season with the Vikings, bringing them out in the rest of this offense. And it's also the first time that Kirk Cousins has quarterbacked the team to double-digit victories. The Vikings reaching that plateau for the second time in 3 years after winning 13 back in 2017. But for Kirk Cousins, the numbers have been good. Second straight year on track to top 70% completion-wise. Also the fewest amount of interceptions that he has had. And when you consider he's been playing a large part of this season without his Pro Bowl wideout Adam Thielen, makes the numbers that much more impressive. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
And running back Dalvin Cook was drafted in 2017 to be the lead runner for the Vikings, and he should love what they're putting in for him in 2019. This is a run-first, run-heavy offense as dictated by their head coach. Dalvin Cook should get more than enough carries to threaten 1,000 yards rushing this season.
Throwing on second down, Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 34-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Running the jet sweep. This is Thielen with it. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on first down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. Bailey's kick is good, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Aaron Rodgers getting set to lead the Green Bay Packers offensively. Is it fair to say, Charles, that Rodgers has quietly had another sensational season? I mean, you compare him with some of the other quarterbacks in the league, he just does not throw interceptions.
I think what people miss, and this is just my own opinion, not only does he not throw interceptions, he doesn't turn the ball over in the pocket with a lot of fumbles, but people often equate with guys who don't throw a lot of interceptions with simply dinkers and dunkers throwing the football. Aaron Rodgers is anything but that. And when he gets outside the pocket, he's not taking the 5-yard check down. He wants that 50-yard throw downfield. He throws to hurt a defense. So when you put it all together, doesn't throw interceptions, yet wants to push the ball downfield, it's even more remarkable because going into the Chicago game in Week 15, he had gone 232 straight passes without throwing an interception heading into that game. That's pretty phenomenal. Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Touchdown, defense.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47. Quickly now, here's a look at the Green Bay offense.
Durable and dependable, but also elite is left tackle David Bakhtiari. He's only missed 6 games in his NFL career. He protects Aaron Rodgers' blind side, and he does it so well. In 2018, named first-team All-Pro for the first time in his career.
Second and 5 now. Rodgers, this one complete to his running back, Jamal Williams. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 40.
First down, Green Bay.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And Adams has it, complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism. They created some nice space for him.
319.
On 2nd down now, it's Williams. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
258. Check, watch 54, watch 54. And it's getting it home.
On 1st down, it's Williams. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A 13-yard touchdown run. And the Packers have taken the lead. And there the counter play proves successful for the touchdown. What typically makes a counter play in general successful, Charles?
But what you're trying to do, Brandon, is to get the team moving in one direction, meaning the defense. Get them going in one direction and then wall them off with your blocking and bring it back in the other direction. That way, you don't actually have to punish them with your blocking. You just position them. And if you have any kind of a good back, he'll take full advantage of it and gain good yardage.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
Now the Minnesota Vikings coming back out as they get the football here. It's been over 4 decades since the Vikings played in the Super Bowl, and you don't know if this is going to be the year that they get back. But there has not been a lot of talk about this Minnesota team. A double-digit win season and a lot of good teams in this conference, and I feel like they're a little bit under the radar. But top 10 in both offense and defense. You got dynamic players on both sides of the football. And we'll see what this Minnesota Vikings team can do down the stretch if they can make a little noise. One thing's for sure, they've been very good at home this season. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And he'll get it out to midfield. Let's see, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
What we got?
Cousins gives way to Cook. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, this is Madison. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3, our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. Cousins to throw it, and Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Throwing again on 2nd down. Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Vikings going to signal for their first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. So it's 1st and goal, and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break. From the gun, here's Cousins. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. On 2nd down, it's Cook. And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They were held to a field goal on their first drive. They want 6 now, but it's 3rd and goal. They'll run for it with Cook. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Such a long drive here. 3 points. That would be a disappointment, but I don't know if you can go for it here, can you?
Well, you know, the defense was really giving them a lot all the way downfield, and now they've stiffened. Forget that bend, don't break. Now they don't even want to let them get a yard, do they? So in this spot, you remember what the coaches told us before the ball game? Any drive that ends with a kick is going to be okay with us, whether it's a punt, a field goal, or an extra point. Take the field goal right here.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Bailey able to knock it through. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
So we're at halftime with our score 7-6 in a tough-fought first half. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has the look of a game that could very well go down to the wire. Just 1 point separating these two clubs at the break. But they're ready for the second half, and we are too. As we'll kick it right back out to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the 3rd quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
A loss of 2 there, second down.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. shotgun now for Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 13 yards, first down, Packers. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
Mike. 319.
This is Jones. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Watch the screen.
From just shy of midfield, Rodgers. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off. Touchdown, Packers! Jake Kumaro, 48 yards. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Extra point try now for Crosby. And it's up. It's good. Our score 14-6. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. After the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Kevin King coming up from the secondary to make the play.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now, we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll try and get the running game going with Jones. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
Rodgers now to throw. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. The turnover put him in great field position. They don't want to squander it with 3rd down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Here's Rodgers. He's got Adams on the hookup. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 10 there. Good enough for a Packer 1st down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Rodgers now 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the 1st half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
They'll go again to Jones. And only able to muster a couple, down to about the 27.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So on now for the Packers at their all-time leading scorer, Mason Crosby. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
After the made field goal, now Crosby will do the kickoff duties. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. This one taken in by Olabisi Johnson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Cousins now. And the catch made by Johnson. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just 1 fourth-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Looking to throw again on second down. Cousins, he gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Throwing is Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. And he is down at the 48. A pickup of 4 that started at one 48-yard line and ended at the other. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it. Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They're looking at third in the nose of the football. To the air again, it's Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Cousins to his tight end, Rudolph, for a Viking first down. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Cousins now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Again, it's Cousins. And not able to get it that time. He'd hit on 6 straight passes. Not there. Second down.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back. I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off or if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. The Vikings on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. They'll throw again. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. Bailey's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is taken at the 3. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line.
Here we go.
And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. The best way to do it? Touchdowns.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards, first down, Packers. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Jones. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Again, it's Jones. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now, this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the 1st down marker. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. Here's J.K. Scott now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So Cousins and the Vikings down by 8, 1:45 to play. They need a touchdown and, of course, the 2-point conversion as well.
For the high. Ready.
Back to throw. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. Clock running here under 90 seconds to go. Give to Cook out of the gun. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a third and very short. Cousins trying to get his guys up to the line of scrimmage quickly. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll run for it. Cook. And he will not even make it back to the line of scrimmage. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Packers are going to get the football back in excellent field position. Rodgers will take a knee here, and that should be all she wrote. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Minneapolis, good night, everybody.
Post-game report players stats.